are smooth. They grow as the tree grows. Other barks do not grow as fast as the tree. These barks are cracked and not smooth. Sometimes trees lose some of their bark. A living tree will always grow a new bark. And I want you to look at the difference of the barks. This is a white birch bark tree. And this is a, Ms. Coleman see, a ponderosa pine tree bark. And I know we see these a lot, especially here in Virginia. Our next category, two groups of trees. So there are only two groups of trees, so I want you to pay attention. Some trees have needles or scale-like leaves. These are called evergreens. Why are we thinking about evergreen trees? Give yourself a thinking moment. Dylan, what's so important about an evergreen tree? Right, Christmas time. People put evergreens in their houses during Christmas. Most of these trees have cones. They lose their needles or leaves a few at a time. Some trees have broad leaves. Broadleaf trees have flowers quite different from cones. Some tree flowers are beautiful. Most of these trees lose all of their leaves in the fall. They get new ones in the spring. Every tree belongs to one of these two groups. And here's some beautiful pictures. Needle-leaf trees. This is our second type. White pines have 5 needles in a bundle. Red pines have 2 needles together. Spruce needles are 4-sided. Cedar trees have folded scales instead of needles. Balsam fir trees have soft, flat needles. Common juniper trees have very sharp, pointed needles. These are some evergreen trees. So there's several types. Sequoias are big trees. They are the biggest of all trees. Some of them are old trees when America was discovered. Sequoias have cones. It's a large tree. Yes, in a forest, I can just imagine. Redwoods are big trees. 2. Redwoods have cones. Are broadleaf trees. Holly trees are broadleaf trees. Shade trees have many branches. They have many leaves. Maple and elm trees are good shade trees. All kinds of ash trees make good shade trees. Birch trees are shade trees too. Cottonwood leaves are noisy in the wind. This is because the leaves have flat stems. So these are just different types of trees. I have a big maple tree in my front yard. Leaf parts and shapes. Now this is what I want you to pay particular attention to because we did our last science unit on leaves. So I want you to see if anything is familiar to you, okay? Some leaves have many parts. The parts are called leaflets. You can know the name of a tree by knowing the shape of its leaves. Look at those beautiful leaves. Remember when we went out during the first fall, like little breeze, and we collected leaves and we looked at the leaves under microscopes? Uses of trees. Trees give us fruits. Trees give us nuts. Trees gives us turpentine. That's a kind of medicine. Trees give us maple syrup. Without trees, many animals and birds would have no homes. So trees are very important, boys and girls. People use wood in their homes too. Wood is used to make many things. How many things can you think of that are made from wood? Give yourself a thinking moment. The book has asked us a question. What things, you want me to repeat it? How many things can you think of that are made from wood? Let's just think about our classroom very quickly. Can we think about that? Ms. Coleman's going to jot it down. Go ahead, Dylan. Desk. Good. Go ahead, Jemiah. The table. Good. Kevin. Pencil. Very good, Kevin. Good. Cabinets. Good job, Megan. Not the pencil sharpener, but the shavings. Yes, that the pencil, when we sharpen the pencil, the shavings, yes. Anyone else? Nothing else? What about our cubicles? Yes, our cubicles. Good job. Let's move on. We want to finish up before lunch. A woods of broadleaf trees is beautiful in fall when the leaves change color. Leaves do not need frost to change color. They will change without frost. Protect trees. Trees give beauty to our land. Trees give us many things we use every day. Trees help keep the soil from washing away. So trees are very important. Protect the trees, their trunks and branches, leaves and roots, so they can live and grow. Work to make sure new trees are planted as old ones are cut. Trees are an important and beautiful part of our world. And of course, you know, we once again have the words we should know, and we've talked about them. Now, what we're going to do now, Ms. Coleman has a worksheet that everyone is going to participate in, and I'm going to let you work with your science partners on this worksheet. And we're going to, I have a list of the words already copied for you on your desk, and I have several different types of trees on the worksheet. And you're going to label them, those worksheets, with these terms that were in this book. We will go over the terms, yes we will, as we take our seats back. Another thing, I want you to keep in mind about the trees that we talked about in the book. I want you to think about them, because tonight when you go home over the weekend, I want you to do a nature walk in your backyard. Many of you live near parks. Many of you live in homes or apartment buildings that are surrounded by trees. And I want you to do your own nature walk with your parents or big brother or sister or somebody that can help you to recognize the trees that you see. I will give you an outline. It's already in your folder, ready for you for this weekend, that you can do a nature walk and talk about the trees that you see as you're walking around. This will be a good way, boys and girls, for us to continue to understand why trees are important and just to understand the beauty of trees in our environment. You have been wonderful listeners. Oh, I'm sorry. Kevin, you had a question? Good question, Kevin. Kevin wants to know why it is so important for us to make sure that we plant trees when we cut trees down. Kevin, that is such a good question. I believe and I think that it is possible for us to one day rid our earth of all the trees, and that would be a bad thing. Why is that a bad thing, Jemiah? It's a bad thing because you got to think about the animals. Where would the animals live? Where would birds make their nests if we didn't have trees? Trees also provide nutrients in the soil for the grass. All those things would be destroyed. Us as humankind, we wouldn't have things to build and used to build things, because we know from the book that the trees help us to build homes. Trees help us to use our paper and our pencils, all those types of things. So trees are very important to our environment. It helps us as humans. It helps the animals. It helps plants. So trees are vital to our environment and to our society. Thank you, Kevin, for pushing us to think through why trees are important. Again, you guys have been wonderful listeners. Now I want you to take your time, go back to your seats, get to an area, to a quiet area. You can stay in your seats, work with your science partners, and I'll be around to visit each one of you. Okay? Great job, guys.